My Golf R has always been a mystery to me. When I first got it, I didn't really know much about it at all. The dealership I bought it from didn't know much about its history. It also had no service records whatsoever. All I knew is that it had some serious mods on it. Over time, I've been able to figure out a lot about this car, but I still feel like I don't have the full picture. I have always wanted to get to the bottom of this mystery, and today, that's exactly what we're going to do. The only thing that makes sense in my mind is to go back to where this all began. So in today's video, we're going to be finding the original owner of My Golf R. So you might be asking, what's the game plan? Well, let me break it down for you. In general, the goal is to get in contact with the original owner and figure out the true backstory of this car. I want to see if we can fill in at least any or ideally all the gaps of knowledge that we have when it comes to this car, or at least get pointed in the right direction. I have absolutely no idea how many owners this car has had in its lifetime, so of course, to make it a lot easier, I'm just gonna go back to the very first one and start from there. So how exactly am I going to do this? Well, I don't really know, but I have a few ideas that I think might work. Idea number 1, search the VIN number. This is a great way to find any websites the car has previously been on, and I know it's a good method because I've used it before when I was trying to find my Honda Civic Si. Idea number 2, get a used car package. Essentially, a used car package just gives a brief scope of the life of the car and the times it has been registered in the past. This could tell us how many owners the car has had in the past as well as where they might be located. Finally, idea number 3, post the VIN number in a Volkswagen Facebook group. Listen, I know this one is a little iffy, but this is our last resort. If we can't find anything, I'm gonna post the VIN number in a Volkswagen Facebook group and see if anybody recognizes the car in any capacity. If none of these ideas work, I don't really know what to do after that, so that just means we're gonna have to make one of these ideas work. So let's start off with number 1 and see what we can do. Okay, so we're gonna start off with idea number 1, which was searching the VIN number on Google to see if we find anything on my car. I have used this method before, as I mentioned earlier, to find my Honda Civic Si. So if there's anything on the internet about my specific car, by the VIN number, we're gonna find it right now. So let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, so no matches right off the bat, but let's check the images just in case. Ooh, yikes. Okay, so we see a couple of Golfs here, a couple of other Volkswagens. This one is not mine, does not match my VIN. Obviously this is not mine, different color, doesn't match my VIN either. There's a few Golfs here that have been on, some auction sites at one point in time. Okay, here's another blue one. It does not match my VIN. Very close, but does not match. And that's all that's here. So I guess that my car is not on Google, thank God. But as you can see here, most of the time when your car is on Google by VIN number, it's either by like an auctioning site or another dealership or something like that. This one is clearly crashed. This one probably has been in some sort of accident or has just been auctioned off. This one too here, you can see at the front, but thankfully my car is not here, especially for any of those reasons, which is a great sign. So we're going to move on to idea number 2, which is going to be getting the used car package. Fingers crossed we can find the owner with idea number 2, because I honestly do not want to try idea number 3. So idea number 1 didn't work. That's okay. I knew this wasn't going to be that easy, but I had to at least give it a try. We are not giving up by any means. So the next thing we have to do is drive over to our local service, Ontario. All right, so we secured the goods. We have everything we need right here in this booklet. I can't lie, there's a lot more pages than I thought it would be, but that just means there's a lot of information in here. So I'm definitely excited to go through it and see what we have. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So this right here is what we call a used vehicle package. I'm pretty sure that other places in the world have something similar to this, but where I'm from, this is what you can basically get to have the entire vehicle's history all in a little package like this. In my case, as you guys saw, I just had to go to my local service, Ontario, and they were able to print this out for me, and all I really had to pay was 20 bucks, which is actually not too bad. But this package right here is an absolute cheat code when it comes to finding out who the original owner was. So they divide this whole thing into sections, and right off the bat, the first section just seems to be the vehicle information, basic stuff like the VIN number, the actual model of the car, the license plate that is currently registered under. What's also pretty cool is it actually shows the wholesale and retail value of your car at the time of registration. So it's pretty interesting to see what the wholesale price versus the retail price is on the car. Flipping to page 2, we can now see who the car is currently registered under, which of course is me, so that's no new information to us. However, section 3 right below it is the entire Ontario vehicle history. So what's actually really interesting and maybe concerning, I don't know, but prior to me this car was actually registered 6 times. So what that basically means is that this car has bounced around from owner to owner. Different people have, taken ownership and registered this car, but there's a little nuance to it that makes this super unique. From what I'm seeing here, this car was mostly registered under dealerships or some sort of company. So I'm not too sure how that really works, but it's either going from dealership to dealership or something like that, or maybe, somebody's registering it under a company name. I don't know, but I do see the original owner's name from back in 2018. And this is what we need to try and find him. So like any normal person would, I searched the name up on Facebook, and as expected, we were faced with a whole bunch of profiles with the exact same name. However, the used car package says the car was purchased in Ottawa, so to narrow it down, all we had to do was find somebody with this exact same name who also lived in Ottawa around the time the car was purchased. After searching through profile after profile, I finally came across one that seemed promising. At first, it was very vague, but after doing a little bit of digging, I was able to find some signs that this person actually is also from Ottawa, which gave me a lot of hope. Now, just to make sure, I went ahead and Googled the name with the location all in one and was able to find a LinkedIn profile that matched the Facebook profile perfectly. After seeing all of this, I was 99% sure this was our guy, so I went ahead, sent him a message on Facebook, and waited for his reply. He replied, and as we expected, this is our guy. From here, we exchanged a few messages before I decided to shoot my shot and try to get on a phone call with him. It did take a couple days. I can tell he's a busy guy, but we were able to set a time to make this happen. Now that we know we have the original owner, it is finally time to hop on a phone call and talk about this car. It's just crazy to think the entire journey with this car has led up to this moment. We've basically been in the dark and slowly putting puzzle pieces together, but still do not have a full picture. We now get the chance to answer questions that we've had for almost a year. All we need is for him to pick up the phone. No answer, but we're not giving up just yet. I'm gonna give him one more call. So he didn't answer, but I left my phone number so he can call me back, and a little while later, he did exactly that. Have a listen. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, my name's Alex, and yeah, I own the Golf now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Alex, where are you based?
So I'm in...
Okay. Wow, it made it all the way to...
Yeah, it's crazy. You're from Ottawa, right?
I am, yep.
Yeah, it's crazy how the car is able to go that far. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't take too much of your time. I just have a few questions about the car just in general, because I've been dying to learn more about it ever since I got it. Can you just tell me, I guess, a little bit about the backstory when you first got it?
Yeah, so I've always been into, like, performance cars, my whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had, like, a big BMW M550. I had a Jaguar XFR.
Okay.
And I had an office downtown Ottawa, right? And the parking garage in the office was like a fucking nightmare to get and navigate around, right? Because the corners were super, super, super sharp and tiny.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, I'm just going to buy, a smaller, little toy. And I'd had a Golf before, like 15 years ago kind of thing.
Okay.
And I've always liked Golfs, right? So, I went out and I bought the Golf R and I had it for a relatively short period of time, like 4,000 kilometers kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty well connected into the car world here in Ottawa, and I'd known, the Eurodyne guys quite well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I went and was like, all right, boys, let's, what are we going to do? So the first thing we did was just a stage 1 ECU tune. Mm-hmm. I lowered the suspension. I went up to a stage 3 tune with an intake downpipe tranny tune for the DSG, and then another ECU tune. And so that's sort of the history behind it. And then I ended up buying a Jaguar F-Type SVR, and I just traded in the Golf for that.
Wow. So what exact tune is it? Like, you stage 3, like, do you know the brand? Is it like a custom tune? Is it like...
Yeah, like the Eurodyne guys tuned it. It is sort of a custom tune. It's probably making about 460.
Wow.
480 at the crank.
Yeah.
And that's assuming nobody has done anything with it since I sold it, right? Because I sold it
a while ago, 2020, I think, or something, right?
What was that? Yeah, 2020. It was right around COVID.
Yeah, there's now, like, I think now there's MPI on it, so like it has all the multi-port injection. I don't know if you did that or somebody else did that.
You know, I had a great opportunity to pick up the F Type, but it was brand new, right? It's just different. Yeah, and the car I shipped to Chile was actually a Jaguar Project 8, which is, I don't know if you know anything about that.
Oh yeah, that was the one that's the orange one, right? Yeah. Pretty cool. Okay. Well, I'm glad, this car kind of came down from somebody who's a fellow enthusiast, someone who's really, tapped into the automotive space. So yeah, I definitely have a good a plan for this car this year for a few things. I already did the exhaust, which is livens the car up quite a bit.
I bet. What exhaust did you put on it?
We had a nice little chat. Honestly, super cool dude who's actually a CEO of a company, which is insane to think about. He also gave me some advice on mods when it comes to tracking the car, but overall, it was an insightful conversation with all the info we were looking for.
But shoot me your channel and stuff.
I will for sure.
To see what you're doing.
Okay, I will for sure. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Cool, man. Alex, have a good one. Enjoy the car.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
Wow, what a cool dude, man. That was a great conversation. Wow, so much to unpack there, but I'm super happy I was able to find the original owner and just have a chat with him. That was so sick. Now that we know the shop that did the work, I wanted to check them out and do a little bit more digging to see exactly what they do. After scanning their website, I decided to give them a call to see if they had any records on what's been done to my car.
You're done.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I just have a question. I know in the past, I have a vehicle that I think was tuned by you guys. I was wondering, do you guys keep like VINs in history or something or anything like that? I just want to know what was done to the car.
Very unlikely we're going to know what was done to the car. We sell tuning software for custom tuning on Volkswagen Audi. So
I see.
There may be a case that someone used that software to tune the ECU, but we're not going to know what they did or what parts were on or anything. If you want to know whether that car has been tuned with Eurodyne software and it's newer than 2006, you can email the bin to support@eurodyne.ca.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, bye. Damn, bro. Interesting. Well, as you guys just heard, I guess they really don't keep any records on hand about the vehicles they've worked on in the past. That's pretty interesting to me. And as he said, I could email, their support to see if the car has been tuned with their software, but I probably won't even bother doing that. I think this was a one-off case since, the previous owner was great friends with the people there. He just dropped off the car and let them do whatever they wanted to do. So honestly, there's probably no way to see exactly every single thing like on a list or something. From what I've seen on the car, I know probably about 95% of the stuff on the car. So I think that's where we're gonna leave it for now. All right, so after all that, what did we really find out about this car? Well, we were able to figure out this car was first purchased in Ottawa by a pretty successful guy who owned a whole bunch of other cars as well. He owned this car for only a brief period of time, and in that time, he did 2 iterations. The first one was a simple stage 1 tune, which I'm thinking was that APR tune that we know about, and the second iteration was a full-on stage 3 build done completely by Eurodyne, which included a new intercooler, a downpipe, intake, turbo upgrade, as well as a tune. And apparently that setup was making 460 horsepower in this little rocket. After having his fun with this thing, he went ahead and traded it in for a Jaguar F-Type SVR, which is insane to even say in the same sentence as a Golf R. After his ownership, the car bounced around from dealership to dealership, and somewhere along the way, the MPI or multi-port injection was installed on the car. I'm assuming it was probably retuned for the added fueling, but I'm not 100% sure. And then after all that happened, of course, I picked the car up and here we are. The fact that I even know that story right now is really, really cool to me. I'm so grateful that I was able to actually find the owner, and he's a super down-to-earth dude and was able to explain everything that he has done on this car. I don't really think I'm gonna be able to pinpoint every single owner because of how vague it is on the used car package, and they're also businesses. Can't really nail that down to one person, but this car has a hell of a story, and I think there still are some things that we need to figure out. It's really cool to know that this car was making 460, so it definitely can handle it. I still think that we need to tune it properly because again, I don't know what it's running. It's definitely not 460, I'll tell you that. I personally feel like it's somewhere in the 300s, so I wanna definitely crank that back up to the 400 range. We're gonna figure that part out really soon. I have been doing some research, but it is coming down the line. But I don't know, I'm glad that I got to learn a lot more about it, but I still feel like we're missing the whole big picture. But that's okay because now we're just gonna rewrite its story. One thing that I do notice that was actually super sus is that the owner told me on the phone, he drove the car for maybe about 4,000 kilometers or something like that, I think he said.
And I had it for a relatively short period of time, like 4,000 kilometers kind of deal.
When the car was sold and registered by the second person, it said 36,000 kilometers. So I don't know if maybe the original owner just doesn't remember, or if somewhere in between. Maybe like, I don't know, the guy who got the car didn't register it right away or something. But if that would be the case, that's 32,000 kilometers. That's a huge difference. I don't know, it was a long time ago, so I don't blame the owner if he doesn't fully remember, but that was one thing that I caught that just didn't line up. Honestly, it's not a huge deal because this car's already at like 94K. That was a long time ago. Overall, this was a very fun and very interesting challenge to take on with this Golf R. I kind of just want to be an example to you guys, I guess, to not really be afraid to buy used cars, especially modified cars, but also to do your research, do your background checks, find out as much history as you can because the resources are there for you to use. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know about the used car package, but that's something that you can get for your vehicle if you just pay 20 bucks. Not a bad price at all. Of course, there is a big debate between built and bought, and I understand both sides for sure. When it comes to this car, I'm honestly super happy it was built the way it was, and it was really cool finding out the story behind it. I want to know, what do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say about this video and, you know, how I went about everything. As we bring the video to a close, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This video took me a while to make and I'm sorry for the delay, but I just wanted to give you guys, you know, the best quality content I can. And of course, big videos like this do take a lot of time, so I appreciate your patience when it comes to the content. If you haven't already, go down below and hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. We are getting close to 2,000 subs. I definitely feel like we're gonna hit it this month. So if you haven't already, go down below and hit that button. I have a whiteboard full of ideas for this Golf R and I can't wait for you guys to see them. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.